Hi everyone, I'm Paul, 37 years old from Arizona. The story I'm about to tell you happened when I just left the US Navy and started a new career in information technology, where I met a young woman named Mary from the legal department. I took the initiative to ask her out. Everything went smoothly and we started dating. We got engaged about a year later, moved in together, and finally got married the second year we were dating. But 7 months after the wedding, I gradually realized that there was something very unusual about Mary. It was all just a premonition of a veteran like me. Although there was no evidence to support this feeling yet, I could clearly see that the interactions between us were forceful. Our sexual intimacy reduced significantly after a few months of marriage. 3 months later, Mary often came home late and told me she was busy working out at the gym near her new workplace. When I kept questioning what had happened, she just emphasized that there was nothing wrong between the two of us. But for the longest time, we no longer had sexual interactions because her desire for me had faded. I decided to find out what was going on. The next day, I took the afternoon off and drove to her workplace to see if she did exactly what she said after work. And guess what? I caught Mary stopping in the gym parking lot, getting out of her car and into another car with a man inside. Strangely calm, I followed them to a nearby hostel. I took a picture of them walking into the hostel room, another one of the man's car with the license number, and one last photo as they came out, kissing passionately to say goodbye in the parking lot of the gym. Then I drove home, not saying a word that night to my wife. The next morning, I called some of my friends in the police department to find out who the license plate number belonged to, regardless of how illegal that act was. It turned out that the man who slept with my wife was her boss at the new job, who had his own family already. How pathetic! Searching for a bit more, I found that guy's home phone number by looking up the address from his cards. I called his wife the very next day, making an appointment at a cafe. At first, she didn't believe me, but after I showed her the undeniable pictures I took, she collapsed and burst into tears, making me feel like a jerk. It turned out she discovered she was pregnant with their first child only a week ago. However, soon after, she got angry and asked me to go with her to a nearby studio to print those pictures out. I was gloating. That afternoon, I calmly went to play basketball with a few friends to get ready to question my wife in the evening. As expected, she came home earlier than usual. When I asked what was different, she said that was because she was tired and could not work out that day. We had dinner together and had sex one last time before I lowered her fake veil. After sex, as I put my clothes back on, I couldn't help my mad laughter. Mary angrily asked me if I lost my mind. I coldly took out the printed pictures and threw them on the bed. Needless to say, she was stunned. With tears in her eyes, she begged for forgiveness and swore that things were not as I imagined. I just laughed and let her know that her boss was not working that day because he had to explain to his wife about the similar photos. I also announced to her that the copies of these photos had also been sent to her parents' mailbox with a letter telling them the truth about their pathetic daughter. Seeing her dumbfounded at the thought of how religious her parents were, I felt pity for them, but not her. I told her to immediately pack her stuff and get out of the house that night. She didn't have any more nerves to beg me anymore. Well, that was the story of my life, guys. In less than 1 year of marriage, my despicable wife could not stop herself from betraying the man who truly loved her. I was upset and angry, but still did her a favor by letting her keep the car I bought for her birthday as a bit of sentiment. You might say I'm a cold-hearted person, but I have no sympathy for traitors. They're selfish and worthy of the worst consequences. Be faithful to your partner. If you feel unable to do so, at least respect them and end your relationship before betraying and completely destroying their lives. Do you agree with me?